Hello there and welcome. My name is Julie C. Butler, and I am your virtual summit coach. And today I want to do a quick training, more of a like information on why you might be interested in hosting your own virtual summit. And today I'm not going to talk too much about myself because I don't want to waste time and I want to try to keep this short. But I live in Ottawa, Canada, and um, I'm a mom of two teenage boys. I have three Shih Tzu puppy dogs. You may see them in and out here in the next 20 minutes or so. And I have a husband who's gone golfing right now. So this gives me the opportunity to record this with in peace. And yeah, that in a nutshell, that's a little bit about me. Obviously, if you go to my website, juliecbutler.com, there's a little bit more about me. But I am here in my hoodie and my messy bun and owning it. Anyway, so today what I want to talk to you about is, and I took some notes. So if I look up, it's because I just don't want to miss anything. And I didn't want to create slides for this because I just wanted to talk to you. So we're going to go over how I grew my list by 1,450 new email subscribers in 30 days. And that is the power of virtual summits. My first virtual summit, I signed up 1,900 people and I made 13,000 US dollars extra cash, not counting the summit expenses because summits do have expenses. But yeah, like that was like awesome, right? And that's I fell in love with summits. So a little bit of backstory. So in 2022, my issue was that I was selling my stuff. I was like, nurturing and growing my email list. No, not growing. Growing is not that word, not the right word. I was trying to grow my email list organically, and it was excruciating. And I'm not one for like, spending all this time in Facebook groups looking for posts where I can link my freebie and try to grow organically that way. Pinterest just never took off for me, and neither did YouTube, neither did any of that stuff. So, and to be quite honest, like this is not what I'm good at. Like I am good at, I'm a tech nerd, so I'm good at like creating websites and website pages for myself and playing in Thrivecart all day and spreadsheets and all the data. Like that's the stuff that I love doing. I don't want to learn how to like, get like thousands and thousands of clicks on Pinterest, and it just doesn't interest me. And so what was happening was that I was doing my due diligence. I was nurturing my email list, right? Email list that I had, which at the time, I want to say maybe it was at like, I don't know, under 2,000. And I know that if you're listening to this, that may seem like a big number, but that was what I had been building over time. Like that was like after 2, 3, 4 years of building my email list, right? And so I was like, okay, I know what my problem is. My problem is I am not growing my email list slash community fast enough. And so I'm going to talk about growing your email list because that just naturally equals growing your social media because chances are they're going to come and follow you on the social media platforms, right? So I wasn't growing that fast. And so whenever I was selling my stuff, it was crickets because either A, they already bought it, or two, they weren't interested in what I was offering at the time, but they wanted to still follow me because they like me or they think I'm cool or whatever. Right. So I needed that to change. I needed that to change. And so I was like, okay, what can I do? And so I signed up for a virtual summit that was about growth. And so, just FYI, I don't know when you're listening to this. I'm recording this in October of 2024, and I am hosting a summit that's going to be annual for now, maybe twice a year, but for now it's going to be annually. It's going to be in the spring, March or April. I haven't quite decided yet, but look out for that if you're listening to this and it's before that time. Okay. Just go to juliecbutler.com and you'll see Summit. It's going to be there. And if you're listening to this before then and you don't see anything, it's because it's not announced yet. Also, follow me on social media because I'm going to be shouting it from the rooftop. So just make sure that you're following me on social media or even on my email list so that, you know, you get all the scoop on my next summit because it's going to be all about growth. You don't want to miss. You don't want to miss out. Okay. So I got on the phone with someone who was a growth strategist, and she had it all mapped out for me. She's like, so you're going to do a summit and it's going to be called this and it's going to be, you know, on these dates and blah, blah. And I'm like, shit, I guess I'm doing a summit. And so I signed up. I was like, I'm in, I'm signing up. I'm doing a summit. So that was my first summit experience. I did it in a span of 3 months. I do not recommend that because as long as, especially if you know that you want multiple speakers, like I decided I wanted 25, 30 speakers, but I ended up 40 because just the talks were so good. I couldn't say no to these people. So plan for that. So I now give myself 6 months, but I did it in 3 months because I'm a go-getter and I head down and I did it. So, and I realized very quickly how much I loved organizing and planning. I'm an organizer, I'm a planner, I love that stuff. And so I realized, like, holy cow, I love this stuff. Not only that, but I love talking to other entrepreneurs, like building relationships, you know, potential collaborations in the future. Like that is like so rewarding in so many ways. Like building relationship with other entrepreneurs is priceless. So, and so much of what I'm going to talk to you about today is priceless. Even though at the end of the day, like we do make some money hosting a summit. And obviously results aren't guaranteed and all that, disclaimer stuff. But it was just like the rewards that came from it were amazing. But anyways, I'm going to go back to my schedule, my agenda to make sure that I kind of stay true to, I just don't want to forget anything and keeping this close. So anyways, so I hosted a summit and I fell in love with it. And so I just like, I'm so passionate about talking to other entrepreneurs and building relationships and getting to know what they do and them getting to know what I do. And it's just like an all around win-win in every kind of like circumstance, that win-win all around. Okay. So I've now hosted 3 summits and all 3 of them were successful. So I'm looking at the stats now. And my first summit, I grew my list by like almost 1,500 extra people on my email list. The second summit and the third summit, it was a little bit less because I was tapping into the same networks. So learned from that, right? You want to make sure that you're tapping into different networks, not always dipping into the same pool because your next ideal client is in someone else's audience. So make sure that you kind of, you know, look for those people who have different audiences that you've not dipped into before. Tip number 1. Okay. And so that is how I fell in love with summits. I've hosted 3 now, and I'm a master like planner, master organizer, master nerd when it comes to like, you know, just all of the assets to hosting a summit. And I'm like so passionate about it. And I want more women to host their own summit. Even if it's like 12 people at your summit, 12 speakers, it doesn't matter the size of it. What matters is that you experience that all around package. And it's my mission to help women entrepreneur host their own summits so that they can experience and see what growth, email list growth, income growth, just visibility, growing your authority, building your authority, like all of it. I want you to experience that because here's the thing. At the end of the day, what a summit can do for you and your business it can accelerate your business success. So instead of you sitting there and doing the things consistently every day, trying to grow your email list, and maybe you got one person on your email list today, can you relate to that? Maybe zero. And you're just, going about your business and trying to make sales and it's slow. Hosting a summit can change that. It can literally change your business. Now, it's not overnight because you need to plan the summit. But once you have the summit, also, you get sales from the summit. But the sales keep on coming for years to come. Amazing, right? Okay, so I'm going to go back to my agenda, make sure I'm not skipping over everything. Okay. Oh, yeah. And by the way, I didn't spend a dime on ads. I did not do cold DMs because I don't do that stuff. I don't participate in that. I am, however, trying ads now to my low ticket offer. So we'll see how that goes. And okay. So now let's talk about understanding virtual summits. Okay, so if you're listening, if you're here and you're not quite sure, like, I know what a virtual summit is, but so a virtual summit is an online event that you organize ahead of time. Now, I'm going to talk about a virtual summit this way, but there are different types. Obviously, you could do a live event. That takes a little bit more coordination. And so for a first time, I haven't done a live event yet, but I've been part of live events and I've co-hosted a live event. And they're a lot of fun. But if this is your first rodeo, I recommend that you host a virtual summit first in terms of having everything pre-recorded beforehand. So a virtual summit is a stage where anywhere from, I don't know, any number you want, 6, 12, whatever, to 40. I've seen them with 50, 60 speakers before, but where you have, for a limited amount of time, recordings/trainings go live for about 24, 48 hours that people can come and listen to them. So you may have been to a summit before, a virtual summit where you sign up and you get to go on X amount of days, and every day is going to be a different subject, but you're going to get to listen to the trainings that you want to listen to. Okay. So in a sense, in a nutshell, that's what a virtual summit is. It's an online event of multiple speakers taking the stage so that you can learn different things about XYZ. It's usually, the topic is usually like niched. So for example, my first summit was Build Your Beautiful Business Online Summit. And it was all about building and growing a business. So it's a little bit more broad, but I find that the more we niche, the better results we can have. So my next summit is going to be the Business Brilliance Growth Summit. I have to think about it because I've changed names and so business, and it's a bit of a mouthful. So but that's what my next summit is. And it's more about growth in your business. So it's going to be awesome. I'm working on it now. I'm so excited. So yeah, so that's what essentially a virtual summit is. But at the end of the day, we run a business. And in business, we have to be smart and we have to be strategic. And the whole goal of hosting a summit is to grow your email list, right? Grow your email list. And without even knowing, you're growing your visibility, you're building your authority, and you're going to make money. And the money is going to keep on coming for years to come. After 2 years, 42% of my sales come from hosting 3 summits. What? That's almost half of my income in the last 2 years. Crazy, right? But that are statistics that are like, wow. So why wouldn't you host a virtual summit, right? And not just that, but my email list keeps on growing. And on top of all of that, I also participate in summits and bundles and live events because those are other ways of growing our audience, right? So if you're not ready quite yet to host a summit, I really encourage you to participate in them because that'll give you kind of like the experience and you're going to have so much fun doing it too. So, but not just that, like over the last few years, I've gotten to know so many incredible people, incredible human beings, incredible business owners that like you can't put a price on that. You just can't. And you know, some of my biggest besties now are from summits, right? Like so amazing. And they get to know me and my business and what I do. And then they refer me. And then I have a bank, I have like a Rolodex of all of these entrepreneurs that I can refer whenever someone is looking for something specific, like a copywriter or a website designer or whatever, you know? So, yeah. So I'm looking here. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. X networking with industry experts. I highly encourage you to do that because it can change your business. You know, sometimes they say like, oh, running your business, it's so lonely. I disagree. I have so many biz besties. Like, I always have someone to talk to. I always have someone to chit chat with. I always have someone to, you know, it's amazing. And those relationships, I think, are crucial. It helps us on our journey to becoming a better version of ourselves and having a better business, right? Okay, next, why I love summits. I think that I talked about that in the beginning, and so I'm not going to repeat everything, but I just love summits so much. And I think you can probably see it by my, you know, excitement, my passion for them, my energy. And I know I'm an extrovert, but it doesn't matter. If you're an introvert and you're willing to do the work and you're willing to show up, you can get the same results. It doesn't matter. And so, oh, I want to say something else back to it being a business. Or actually, you know what? Yes. Okay. So this is where we're at now. Um, yeah, I've talked a lot about how summits have changed my business in so many ways, right? Oh, I was also like, not to mention that I keep being asked to be part of summits, but I was on a summit, an online live event, and I shared a stage with James Widmore. And I'm like, what? Yes, I'm in. I don't even know how the girl found me, but she did. And I was like, this is crazy. This is like the doors that open from you hosting your own virtual summit. Crazy, right? And my goal is to be invited to speak on stages at conferences and at trainings. That's like my next thing now. I'm like, how can I get on stages? Like actual stages, not live, because I've been there, done that. But also I get asked to be part of summits and bundles all the time. And I think that that's really, really, really cool, right? Okay, now I want to talk about some actionable steps to get started. And I know that this is like a quickie training and it's not going to give you all the details and all the roadmap of everything you need to do in order for you to host a summit, but it will give you a good idea on whether or not you want to host a summit or not. Okay. So here's a simple roadmap for planning a virtual summit. You want to choose a compelling topic. Going back to this is business, right? And be selfish when you're hosting a summit. It's about you, but also it's about the experts that are going to come on your stage. Okay. So make it a theme, make it a topic that is in alignment with your business and what you do. Right. And so, say, for example, you have a signature program or you have a high ticket coaching program or coaching or a course or a membership. And that's, you want to get more people into that. Well, use that as the basis for your summit, right? Because at the end of the day, we want to pitch them at the end of our summit, we want to pitch them our offer or fill our list with people who are going to be interested in joining that thing that we want them to join in the end. So be really specific about the topic of your summit. Make it in alignment with that offer that you want people to join at the end. Okay. So number one. Number two, oh, there's puppy dog number Oreo. Number two, choose your speakers wisely. Like moving forward, I haven't done this in the past, but moving forward, I'm going to tell my audience, I'm looking for speakers. This is who my ideal client is. This is who my client avatar. This is my client avatar. So I want to know what yours is. Who is your ideal client? Who is in your audience? Because when we host a summit, we want to have speakers at our summit that have the same audience, not necessarily the same people, but the same type of person, right? So, and it's okay if you're going to overlap audiences a little bit with like, a speaker that that you share some of the audience, that's okay. But having people who have the same audience, but like different audiences, like there's like so many people, millions of people in this world, right? Like how do you say that? Like is an oyster. I'm like thinking about Little Mermaid here, but anyway, be selfish. Allow yourself to choose speakers who have the same audience as you, because this is business. It's not personal. Okay. So at the end of the day, you want to grow your email list with people who are your same people, and vice versa. You want to invite speakers to be a part of your summit that have the same audience, because they are going to grow their audience with other people from the same ideal client, the same avatar. Okay. So be selfish and allow yourself to have those boundaries, have those guidelines. Okay. Super important. Select engaging speakers. So that can be tough because there's so many good entrepreneurs out there, so many good ones. And if you like plan a summit and you send out the application and you get like so many applications and you like decided you're going to have 20 speakers and you have like 100 people apply to be a speaker at your summit, that can be a time consuming job. And that's how I grew from 25 to 40 because I couldn't say no because there was so many of them. Right. But you want to make sure that your speakers come to the table with a topic that is in alignment with your summit. And I'm not gonna lie, like I've had a handful of speakers who like the topic could have been left out, right? But we live and learn. And so that's why I tell you, don't be afraid to be super specific, super trust yourself, trust your intuition, but stay in alignment with what your summit is going to be about. And don't be afraid to say no to a speaker. And hey, if you have a podcast or if you have a Facebook group and you want them to come on your platform and do a training or come as a guest speaker on your podcast, like offer them that, right? And so it can be difficult choosing the speakers because there's so many, and then you don't want to say no to anybody. But hopefully this is not the first time you're hosting a summit, and maybe the next time they can be a guest at your summit. So select engaging speakers. And I mean, if you get people applying for your summit and you're like, I don't even know who this person is, like go creep them, go check out their social media, check out their website, check out their Instagram, check out their Facebook, go creep them. There's nothing wrong with that. You want to kind of like feel in alignment with who you're bringing to your stage. Also, there's nothing wrong with booking a 10-minute conversation with them. Hey, let's have a 10-minute chat because I want to see if this is a good fit, right? And then you want to promote strategically. So once you've chosen your speakers, use the speakers networks for outreach. So I want to say that promotion is key. And so if you're allowing yourself, like, I don't know, 6 months to plan your summit, the last 3 weeks, the month before, I do nothing. I'm like only leaving space for promoting of the summit because I want to make sure I do a good job at promoting it. And I want to make sure I do a good job at reminding speakers to do their part, right? And it's also very important for speakers to do their job too, to promote like they said they were going to. And don't be afraid to have that as a criteria, right? When you're looking for speakers, put it in your guidelines. If that is what feels aligned with you and you want all of your speakers to promote no matter what, put that in there. I do. And I'm going to be much more strict about it now because I think that it's a team effort, right? Like we're doing all the work and all you have to do is show up, and you said you were going to promote, so promote. So yeah, so that's super important too. And you want to make sure that you deliver valuable content. And so I really believe that, the trainings that we put together for our summits should have a little bit of action in it. It doesn't have to be like, everything in the kitchen sink, but I find that with a little bit of action, like, so when the speakers train on something, if they finish and if they close with a bit of action, that's what makes people rave about your summit. They're like, your summit was so amazing. Like, oh my God, like I'm getting so much out of this. Like you want people to give you those rave reviews about your summit, right? And other speakers, not to mention other speakers. So I am selective of the speakers and I'm selective of their training. And I ask them, make sure there's actionable items either throughout or at the end, something they can walk away with and go do. Now, I understand that it's not black and white, and there's going to be some areas of like, well, it's not that kind of training, and that's okay. I mean, you be the judge of that, right? But it's always like the what, but not the how. And I think there should be a little bit of how in there, a little bit. Okay. And then follow up post summit. So after the summit, you want to offer up your offer, right? Launch your offer to all of these people who have been listening to you all week. And they're like, they want more. They want to buy. They're ready to buy from you. So launch your thing. But if you don't launch your thing, make sure to thank them. And then now make sure that you're going to do a good job at nurturing them on your email list and nurturing them on your social media, right? So you want to make sure that, that is, that you take care of them that way. And I know that this is kind of like, just a snippet. Like hosting a summit is a big job. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to lie to you. There is a lot involved in hosting a summit, and there is no way that I could just run down the whole list in this short training. But this was mainly to give you an idea of like, oh my God, yeah, I want to host my own summit, or like, yeah, I'm not there yet, but maybe soon, right? But if you are ready and you're like, oh my God, Julie, like this was amazing, I want to host my own summit. I do have a planner, and in the planner, it has all of the steps, And all you have to do is plug in the date of the desired date of your summit, and it's going to auto-populate all the dates. And I've got a 4-month planner, and I've got a 6-month planner. And so it's like week 1 and 2, this is what you do. Week 3 to 4, this is what you do. Week 5 to 7, I think, this is what you need to get done. And I have it all mapped out for you. And it's only $9. So I will have it. I'm like recording this now thinking where I'm going to put this, but I'll have it in the if you don't have the $9 planner yet, and I have a video instruction on like all of the things on the list and what they mean. If I'm going to have this video when you're watching this in the portal, just look on the left-hand side on the menu and just click on next steps, and you'll see next steps, or maybe virtual summit shop. whatever you see there, I'll have it linked in there. Okay. If not, if you go to my website, you can find it or send me a DM and I'll send you the link. Okay. Enough about that. But also, if you're like, I'm in, Julie, I'm so hosting a summit, but I need your help. I do also have a mastermind that I have offer, and I have obviously private coaching, private mentorship to help you host your own summit. So if you're interested in that, you can find that stuff on my website, juliecbutler.com. Okay. So in conclusion, I think that everybody should host a virtual summit. It will change your business in ways that you did not even expect. Like when I hosted my first summit, I had no idea what was going to come after. I just knew I needed more people on my email list. And then next thing you know, I've got almost 1,500 people on my email list and $13,000 cash. And I'm like, awesome. Now there are expenses when you host a summit because all of the speakers, you have to pay out you have to pay out affiliate commissions. And then if if you need to source out transcribing, or if you decide to have a private podcast feed, or if you need to purchase softwares or anything like that to host your summit, obviously those are additional costs that you can, put in the subtract from that amount. But at the end of the day, it really will change your business. It will change your business. It's a win-win all around. Yeah. So I'm like so excited for you. I encourage you to either go all in and just host a summit. What do you have to lose, right? You have nothing to lose. Second, if you're like on the fence about hosting a summit and you're like, I don't know, like, it's a big job and I don't know if I can do it. I have no idea what to do. Come and see me. I have different things that I can help you. You can work with me privately or join the mastermind. Or secondly, if you're like, I'm just not there yet, I highly encourage you to participate in summits or bundles, and even be a guest on podcasts, because that like prepares you for being a speaker, right? And so I think that's it. Like I'm just looking and just to recap everything. That's it. I think that's it. Yeah, I'm going to close with that. And I am just so excited for you. I'm like, summits can literally change your business, and they're so much fun, and you can design them the way you want to. So much fun. So I leave you with that. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was like, okay, now I get it. I understand like what's the big deal about summits. And I hope this was a good training for you. I hope that I know it wasn't like a training, but it was more of a like discovering what virtual summits are and what they can do for you in your business. But I hope this was valuable, and I will see you on the internet.